The Book of the Idols. Book 1. There shall be none to whom we may turn. All of our days are as one. All of our sunsets are of a single nature. Where shall the voice be heard? Who shall forgive us all things? Where shall be read the book of our condemnations? These constructions cannot define our passing, these philosophies cannot reveal to us our origins. For they are the shadows that fall upon the traveler, in the time of dreams, before the rising of the sun. Seek not the things of night, in the hours of the day, for they are gone. Book 2. All thought is action. All action is actualization. The question asked is simply that of the method by which things are brought to their existence. The question is answered by the recognition of a perception. How shall a thing be seen for what it is? How shall the watcher see that which he sees? For all things are real, for a season, all things are real. Book 3. It is not the reasoning intelligence which will bring about the changes which it will be called upon to address. It is not the call of revolutionary action which will heap corpses in field and woodland, and burn not only the many books lest they be called upon to bear witness. It is not the awareness of perception, which shall apply the means of torment and ill use. Seek not the redemption of this species, for you shall find none. Seek only the means of right action. These idols do not have feet of clay. Not so readily shall they topple before the will of their many enemies. Their destruction is not within reach. Behold, the day is come, and the naming of their many names. Stepping stones bridging the torrent of man and time. Book 4. As it is spoken, so shall it be. So shall the word of man speak unto the future of man. For there shall be no other than this. Here are the cities of silence. Behold, there shall be no place within them, where the breezes of the rivers can reach. Let no footstep resound here. Let no voice be heard. Let their many temples await the moment of their falling, as all temples must. Let them await the swelling of the river waters, and the breaking of its banks, and the washing away of the irrigation channels dug by many hands. Let them await the flood that never comes. Aligned along the eastern horizon, stand the cities of silence. No footstep resounds, and no voice is heard. So shall the voice of man speak unto his many futures. So shall the many silences return. For none shall hear, and even his histories shall fail to sanctify his efforts. Even his histories shall fail to fulfill his enquiry. What tongue shall be spoken? Here lie the enigmas. Here lie the bones of the many prophets. Here lie the scattered fragments of a beginning. Here is the single focus of a searching for the moment of twilight. No footstep resounds, and no voice is heard. The end of language shall be the commencement of enquiry. Let the end of language be only the commencement of enquiry. Book 5. The Philosophy of Logic. One might as well say, the philosophy of the space between stars. Has it not been said, behold, the eternal? Behold, that which encloses all things. Has it not been said, behold, the eternal? Behold, that which encloses the eternal. These fragments. The silences are many. And none shall come, who can speak their names. The universe is not to be separated from its passing from instant to instant, from age to age. It is not to be separated from the singularity of time. Here is the problem posed by language by definition, as though language could be separated from the object of its pursuit. Because language may be heard only by the tutored ear. Because intelligence is not at the call of language, but the reverse. Here is the master who barks for his dog. Present the enigma. How shall language not find itself changed, to embrace the new thought, even the new product of enquiry? Language shall not be separated from that passing from age to age, from thought to thought, realization to realization. The instant is lost, and all enquiry ceased, between the rise of mountains, and the fall of mountains. Between one breath of the eternal and the next, is our sentience lost, and all enquiry ceased. What tongue shall be spoken? No footstep resounds, and no voice is heard. 100,000 days shall the sun rise, and 100,000 times this span of time shall pass, and upon each single day shall the sun rise, and no eye shall open upon it. Abandon academe. Abandon proof of intellect before the herd. Abandon the tablet of clay, the holes of all the priests, the bull of heaven. Book 6. That history presents us with problems, erects enigmas before us, is not that which defeats the enquiry. Our enigmas are none but of our own manufacture. That enquiry is divided, is cleared asunder, into the quadrants of academe. This is the rack upon which enquiry is thrown, and shall not long survive in recognizable form. Only the enquiry is that which animates the most ancient in man, and therefore the most modern. That which has been spoken of, should be passed over in silence. And over the ending of sentience, and over the ending of mind, has silence many times passed. This is not the silence of mind. More arid than any desert, and more corrosive to even the appearance of life, is the silence of academe. When did those empires pass away? For their skies have not passed with the coming of night, and the coming of morning. Book 7. How far have we walked, my brother, my sister? As the lone mind stands upon the high place, and looks behind, at the way he has come, this he may say, as he makes his voice heard winding the dome of the sky's temple. How far have we walked, my brother, my sister? Where art thou? For the waiting has been long. Where art thou? Where art thou? For the waiting is without ending. How far have we walked, my brother, my sister? Yea, thou art not beside me. How far behind us have we left the cities of nakedness, the cities of the ancient heart? How her drums resounded through her streets. Know thy beginnings. Know thy beginning. Not the idol, no, but the hand of the cutter. Not the idea portrayed, but the intention of the portrayer. For no idol there was so old as this. No singular idea was so complete. Know thy beginnings. Know thy beginning. Where drums resounded through her naked streets, now the new silences have found their place. Know this, she has said. All intentions are lost, as water is lost when it is drunk, as mornings shall come but once, and are gone into the day. Until morning now, until the coming day, stand the idols. Who shall defeat the passage of time? Who shall maintain the instant of vision? What realization shall this become? How shall drums resound through her dry streets? For the breeze blows, through the leaves of distant trees, and it is gone. Book 8. This body is thy vehicle. Maintain it, or suffer the consequences. Give us the things we need, send us the histories which our predecessors abandoned. The identities of the faithless shall not become the stake to which we have become chained. Bears and dogs, a game more predictable than the passage of the literate across the face of inhumane aggrandizement. We require more. The law is not enough, it is not even insufficient. Generations are not enough. Children are not enough. Where the limits of language place the gatekeepers, there is our starting place. The assassins of the crucified, that single champion of the penniless. The assassins, the purple-robed. Masters of all thieves, of all cutthroats, builders of roads, burners of books, the servants of the idols, successors of the traducers of the Nazarene. That which is not the defeat of an enemy, is longing. All is longing, and yearning. The stairway of the instant. Book 9. For I have plucked from their paths those travelers, those numberless, those legion, and fed with their remains the furnaces of the ancient ones, those voices raised in blooded self-abnegation, the longing, the yearning, that which is written, that which is not written. Love does not maintain its throne rooms where the errors of inquiry pile up at its entrances, nor does sleep have its dwelling where the schedules have been stacked. That which is done, that which is not done. What shall those new results become? How shall they live, how become old, how speak of their becoming to those newly begun? How far have we yet walked, my brother, my sister? Book 10. That which is pursued, that which is put down, in favor of the moment of strangeness, the thing not only of itself but divested of continuance. That which becomes known, that which does not. Leave the places of sacrifice. Do not give of yourself. Do not carry thy youth to the marketplace like raw pork. Adopt no sacredness but thine own. Accept no sacred thing but thyself. Take forth thine original self, and carried away where we all left it long ago. Book 11. Tale of a Marriage, Progress of a Domestic Arrangement begun in awareness of that very human sacredness, and which separates bride from groom, both before and after the item of ritual. Behold, I am imperfect, this hideous thing, this day of screaming insecurities, of heads blooded from the tearing of hair. Look at this thing I have become. How do you propose to assimilate this unclean realization? The quality of sunlight has changed here. In late September, it burns the face hotter than a drought in June. When we were children in the fields, we went shirtless, but our skin did not burn like this. The light is brighter, more intense. It is more concentrated, but not more clear. This generation will daily expect the collapse of the world's economies, as we confidently awaited the detonations of intercontinental weaponry. We knew that the new priesthoods had bestowed their benedictions, that sanction was given, and the servants of those temples awaited only the signal to display their obedience. One generation is very like another. It is very like the next. The expectation of the triumph of the oxen takes its unique form for each in succession, only as one day differs from that before. What damage have the sunspots done to the well-being of systems? Delicate things need little coercion to fall asunder. The breezes of late summer which once adorned our limbs, come now to cast their slow doubts upon our thinking. Why dost thou sit out so late, beyond even the hour of the watcher's returning? Why, at thy young age, watch the sun both set and rise on the last evening of summer, as though that glory of past days, and this thy fading star of day, could in some way become one and the same. The death of those ideas whose ghosts still walk the rebuilt boulevards, how shall the living dwell beside phantoms, with whom they may not speak, of whose ways they can know nothing? Book 12. The water carriers have ceased now their labors. The rivers sleep in their channels beneath the city's unresting ways. Gone from the fields is the irrigation ditch, filled with detritus of households. Gone from the street is the meeting at the drinking fountain. The barricades, upturned tables, stones from the old walls, forgotten and fallen from attention, horse-carts, like articles thrown from the museums, so many other houses of the books that no exertion of humanity can cast them down all at once, and their sung verses have imitated every thread of human endeavor, and woven it all into their archaic fabrics. Staff of the merchants of faith. Destruction of the houses of language. Staff of the merchants of faith. Amputation of the unclothed limb. Staff of the merchants of faith. Rejection of the marketplace. Staff of the merchants of faith. Throwing down of the idols. Staff of the merchants of faith. Demolition of the stony testament to human triumph. Staff of the merchants of faith. Excision of the tongue which utters the unwritten. Staff of the merchants of faith. Incision of the faces of raped wives and daughters. Staff of the merchants of faith. Law students and journalists hanged in bombed-out housing projects. Staff of the merchants of faith. Do as instructed. Do as instructed. Staff of the merchants of faith. Believe as instructed. Further accept as directed. Staff of the merchants of faith. The devouring. Pogroms. The smoking forests. The forgotten barricades. Clenched teeth. Burning youth of the past. Staff of the merchants of faith. Arrested students laid by the roadside, like rotting firewood bundles. Staff of the merchants of faith. The black smoke from the city's many roofs. Staff of the merchants of faith. The artifacts and battle scrolls, like colossal statuary fragments newly blasted. Staff of the merchants of faith. The book denied recognition. Entry barred to the temple. Staff of the merchants of faith. The utterances of revolutionary women. Staff of the merchants of faith. The glances of devoted lovers. Staff of the merchants of faith. The searching of the immigrant. Staff of the merchants of faith. The night without shelter in the season of falling fire. Staff of the merchants of faith. The exhilaration of the new thought, the method of more than personal freedom. Staff of the merchants of faith. The idea which drives together the many houses. Staff of the merchants of faith. The expulsion of the sons of Rome. Staff of the merchants of faith. The excavation of the streets of the first of all cities. Staff of the merchants of faith. The human jawbone which was not of our specific becoming. Staff of the merchants of faith. The railway track, the smashed lines of waiting passengers. Staff of the merchants of faith. The new wounds, breasts which will not now suckle the growing forces of opposition. Staff of the merchants of faith. The closed eyes of silent rows of houses. Staff of the merchants of faith. Ancient gardens of hanging bloody remembrance. Staff of the merchants of faith. All the monuments to the dead of an aristocracy's artless method. Staff of the merchants of faith. All the literature of the newly emancipated. Staff of the merchants of faith. The slave markets of every nation on earth. Staff of the merchants of faith. The stinking pall of child sacrifice franchise. Staff of the merchants of faith. That which shall never end but with the collapse of an economic method. Staff of the merchants of faith. That which shall never end but with the flooding of the plain, the salt earth. Book 13. My brother, my sister, how far shall we yet walk together, you and I, towards the conclusion of all such journeys? Shall we witness the fabrication of matter's supreme exertion of indifference, the gulf which spans the vacuum between these two beings as points of reference, the possessor of a moment of revelation, a trophy of ascetic exertion, and the narrator of the passage, from one occurrence of revelation to the next? The difference between a tale of mystery, and awareness of life. Between one intelligence and another, witness the dust clouds of half-formed worlds. The gulf, as though these are mountains we speak of, and not men. Driffield, 2014.